The whole purpose of money is to have more life.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. But again, then where the problem becomes is if you don't manage your money, you actually end up with less flexibility, less opportunities, less life, more stress because, right, you didn't manage your money right, and then it's always a source of either conflict or anxiety. So how do you help people then deter? So we talked about kind of a little bit of the practical things like managing your cash flow and allocating money into different buckets. But before you can do any of that, you've got to decide, what do I want to allocate that money into, and how much can I spend each month, and how much do I want to put into an emergency fund or start to put in an investment fund or whatever. So how do you help people work through that process to even get started?
Yeah, it's all about, I like the initial meeting with a financial planner is the gold mine, where you learn about their values and goals, and then it's all about crafting a structure around that. Like the rest of the meetings are probably going to be educational and implementation, right? The first one or two where you're learning about goals and values, that's how you figure out what to do. Like if your goal is being able to spend so much money in retirement, you won't know, you've never spent that much money, right? You're going to need to be saving a lot right now. It's all about pulling out those goals and values and what you really like. My favorite question to ask people is, what does money mean to you? Because you're going to be able to dive into that in some big ways. And that's what my wife and I's, our entire financial plan is built around that question. We have both of our answers, and then we find where it matches, and we go for those first. And for both of us, it's just the flexibility of not having to work, right? It's the opportunity of being able to decide what we want to do any given day. And for us, that means we need to save more money right now and really chase financial independence in a big way, or maybe coast financial independence. But if your why is money important to you is that, well, I want to be able to provide opportunity for my kids, well, then maybe we look at setting up investment accounts for your kids or 529s or things like that. So it's really, that question can get at the heart of a lot of it. So if you're thinking, I want to set up a financial plan for myself, ask yourself, or you and your spouse, or if you're doing money together, right? Ask yourself, why is money important to me? And then write it down and just let yourself go with whatever thoughts you have. And you're going to uncover some interesting things that's going to help naturally direct what you should be doing with your money instead of just taking the broad generalized advice from the internet, right? So I think that's a great place to start, is why is money important to you?
Well, and that's good too, because that's a great place for either young adults or even parents with their kids to start asking them that question. Because even with younger kids, if parents start having that conversation and asking kids that, they may not have a very in-depth answer, or they may not even know how to answer, but just getting them used to thinking about their money in that way, I think is tremendously valuable. And for young adults, they can either be, well, I mean, what's your experience been with that, right? Do they seem to find value and interest and kind of wake up a little bit when you ask them that question? Is it something that they talk to their friends about, or that they talk then with their parents about, even if they're out on their own? What's been your experience there? How does that go?
Yeah. One of my favorite experiences was I was on like a discovery meeting with someone, and I dropped that question a little later in our discussion after we had gone through some values, and they turned to each other and said, wow, he's asking really good questions, because I had to like take a moment and pause. And for me, it was like, oh yeah, go me, right? But my experience with this question is it always like makes people pause. They always think, well, what does money actually mean? And for some clients, it's spending time with family and being able to go on vacations and whatever. For some people, it's being able to buy things that they enjoy or experiences. And my experience with that question has always been a good one. It's always one that causes people to pause. And I've had clients say, yeah, after our meeting, our next drive, we spent more time talking about money than ever before, because it just plants a seed to be like, well, what does money actually mean, right? It means a whole lot more than $100, right? More than that dollar amount. And so that question will just keep opening conversations. You could ask the same question multiple times. It'll change over your lifetime as well, which is fun to see.